Okay, we'll start the meeting of the interim North Sherborn Water Sewer District Commission, Thursday, September 4th, 7:06 p.m. And we're missing Stephen, but we have a quorum. We have Meredith, we have Frank, and we have Marion and myself. And the agenda is essentially to discuss the North Sherborn Water Sewer District general bylaws and the water rules and regulations of the North Sherborn Water and Sewer District. And that may be all we have time to do. We also have a mission statement, but we can do that another time. I don't think it's that pressing. Any additions or changes to the agenda? Okay. Any motion to accept?
I move we accept the agenda. That's right.
I second it, yeah.
Okay, and then should we do the Stephen method of voting? Frank?
Here.
Andrea? Aye. And Meredith?
Aye.
Okay. Super exciting reading.
Can I add a little bit?
Yeah, please add.
Sure. I think when I distributed the first set of bylaws, I might have indicated that they should be regulations. And anyway, I think I made a little more confusion. I just wanted to help clarify.
Oh, great.
That one, the special legislation, which I read again because I wanted to understand the commission's authority to implement regulations, actually allows you to implement bylaws as well. So per the special legislation, the commission shall have the rights and powers necessary or convenient to carry out and implement this act, including but not limited to the rights and powers to adopt bylaws regulating the schedule of the commission meetings and administrative procedures to operate the district, and to adopt rules, regulation, procedures in connection with the performance of its functions, duties, and regarding the use of the district system. So I think the way that Toll Brothers has separated the docs is actually appropriate and in line with the special legislation to have bylaws that essentially set forth how you're going to operate the water and sewer systems, and then the regulations essentially regulating the users and connections there too. So just want to kind of reset that a little bit.
Great.
And it will help you with those discussions of the bylaws, or like how you're going to operate as a utility. And then the regulations regulate the users, the water users, the sewer users, and are more technical in nature. So I think it is appropriate that you have both documents.
Okay.
And the special legislation gives you authority to have both documents and to adopt such.
Good.
Good.
So there are notes on this. I'm assuming that that EC2 has reviewed it. Have we had any legal and?
There has been no legal review. These are, what has been provided by Toll Brothers in raw form sent to you folks. So no, there has been no legal town council or special counsel review of any of these documents. So, I advise that you should have that at some point before formally adopting these. But
Jeremy, what's the source of these? Did they take this from another town?
I believe they use samples from other towns. They did specifically reference Natick and Framingham, especially the regulations, which is appropriate because essentially the IMAs would require that you essentially build them per each of those regulations for water and sewer in each of those communities. So that is appropriate. And I think the bylaws they've taken, they didn't say what community or what utility, but I believe they've used samples from other communities to assemble this and the special legislation and what they know of the district.
I know someone, so if we take the general bylaws first, the draft first, someone whoever this person is, had a question about betterments. And
What page you on?
Oh, so it's actually 7. They said, how will this, well, it's 7.2, the inflow and infiltration mitigation fee. How will this work? And then there were just some, I guess, just some questions that would be great to get addressed. Do you think before October there, or is it not imperative that we do it before they submit?
Well,
We should do what we can.
I think you should do what you can and try to keep making some progress on it, but certainly if you have questions, we'll just have to have more back and forth. The comments that you see in here, I believe, are from the author, from the consultant that's assisting Toll Brothers.
Okay.
So I think they made their best attempt to put some stuff together, but didn't.
This is the woman that was speaking the other night, I believe.
believe so, yeah,
Oh, Elizabeth
yeah.
is Liz.
Yeah.
EC.
Liz, yes.
Okay, that
So
makes
she,
sense.
you know, had questions or just put in questions so to flag it for you folks.
Great, okay.
Who does she work for? I don't remember.
She's the consultant.
Yeah.
Yeah, the name of the company.
GPR,
That's it.
they out of Air Mass,
Yeah,
They are,
sounds
yeah.
familiar.
work with them a lot.
So where are you now?
Well, this, I mean, I just pulled up page 7 where seems that there were questions. There were 7.2 and 7.3.
They've already had her review this, which is.
Yeah,
I think she actually helped draft them
yeah.
Oh, okay.
and then didn't know what to put in her draft, and so just added comments.
So these are questions for us.
I think so.
Okay.
So you're looking at paragraph 7.2?
Yes, let's look at that first.
Okay. And when do we read that? All new connections?
All new connections to the district sanitary system or changes in use that have an expected increase in wastewater discharge shall be charged a one-time I/I, that's inflow and infiltration fee in accordance with the following fee schedule set by the city of Framingham. So that's a fee if the system is leaking, essentially. I think is that,
Well,
or
a
no?
couple things there.
Okay.
One, the sewer system would be going through Natick,
Yeah, wastewater.
not Framingham, so that's a boo-boo. The infiltration and inflow
Right.
fee that's charged, Natick assesses that fee for any new connection. They're actually assessing it to the district's connection to Natick. That's part of the mitigation payment that Toll Brothers is making that accounts for that II fee that would be charged. It's based on a per gallon cost to remove a like amount. Well, actually, it's a 4-to-1 ratio of water from their wastewater system. It's to free up capacity. It's a requirement of the MWRA to mitigate flow. And, you know, it's funds that the utility would use to then do II improvements to their system. You know, your system is going to be new, so it's going to be a little while before you would need to do II improvements to remove inflow, which is from the surface, or infiltration from the groundwater, because your system is going to be pretty tight from the get-go. But for older systems like Natick or in Framingham, they have plenty of pipes that are leaky.
Yeah,
But in either case, it's kind of a formula, it's an assumption
Yeah.
that's
It's
based on.
yeah, so
a formula.
any new connection to your system that ultimately would go to the MWRA would need to pay the II fee or remove inflow and infiltration.
So is that fee set? Or
The
is
fee is
that,
supposed to be set based on the actual cost to remove the gallon of flow.
so is the formula for setting
Knows
it?
that because they've done projects and they know they can estimate how much flow they've gotten removed. So they know how much it has cost them per gallon, and that's what their fee is supposed to be set on.
But it's not like.
But it doesn't say.
For your system.
It's
it
not
doesn't-
like they're always measuring what the inflow actually is.
right.
They're just making certain.
They do measure it by doing inflow II studies.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
How often do they do?
Periodically, so they can identify projects that they can do to improve their wastewater system. So
Is there a formula that should be in here that, how that fee is
you can't
calculated?
really use a formula, and it's based on your system and the actual cost to remove it. So it's not a simple formula. It's
Should it
based
say-
on actual study and engineering.
Well, then should we say that in here? It says a one-time fee. Should we say how it's calculated or what it's based on, or just leave it open?
Yeah.
In accordance with the following
no
fee
control.
schedule, I think we should take that out.
What section is it?
Oh, 7.2, the
Yeah,
last
okay.
line,
And already we know it has to be Natick anyway.
right, not Framingham.
No,
But it is the fee schedule, in any case, is set by the city of
Is there a fee
Town
schedule?
pays.
Town of Natick.
So a fee schedule, you'll need, as a utility, you're gonna need to establish a fee schedule at some point.
for use, but not for connection,
Both.
both?
Any new connection, you're likely gonna charge some fees for,
Okay, so,
including the II fee, which you will wanna charge so that you have those monies available.
Yeah.
Um,
so the commission would be charging the fee
Yeah.
and determining what the fee is
Correct.
based on a schedule provided by Natick as a minimum.
Uh,
I mean, you'd wanna offset the costs that they would assess you, so yes, that's a good start, yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, does
hopefully,
that make sense? So I had to know you
Yeah,
must
so
have
I
input
guess
from,
This, the way that I read this, it's assuming there's gonna be an attachment to this
Yeah.
that actually enumerates the fees.
Yeah.
So
That will be added
I think-
later.
you could add that later, but for the wording here, I think that the way this is worded is fine.
Okay.
It's just general in nature. You're gonna assess an II fee. It's gonna be the number that's on your fee table once you develop it.
and that fee may
I don't think
change
it's-
over time,
One-time II fee,
and that fee may change over time.
I think you should really just have your own fee schedule, and maybe you base it on Natick's and Framingham's for water, but one-time II fee in accordance with the following fee schedule, period.
Okay,
Strike out.
Set by
the
anyone.
city of Framingham. I think it should be set by you folks,
yeah, okay.
your fee
since
schedule.
I know nothing about anything. When someone connects with the district sanitary system that then flows to Natick, does Natick then charge the district a fee that then we would charge to the people?
Yep,
So
Yes,
it should
And-
be Natick's charge plus teeny tiny more, something along
Exactly.
those lines,
That's-
okay.
our own fee so that it covers the district's costs to Natick and whatever other cost you may incur in your district.
But we're paying an I fee to Natick upfront, it's a one-time payment.
right.
Right.
So when someone new connects, does that one-time payment change?
But that's sort of one of the negotiating points right now with the IMA, with Natick, and how they're considering that fee being paid by Toll Brothers. So
Right.
some of the logistics here are dependent on the finalization of the IMAs, the intermunicipal agreements. In that it was the initial assumption that Toll Brothers would be paying all of those fees for all of the flow that would come from the district.
Mhm.
But, as you know, more recently, Natick is thinking that, at least in terms of the II fee, that Toll Brothers costs Toll Brothers payments are just covering the flow from their two developments.
What does Toll Brothers think about that? I mean, it would be nice if they paid the I fee for the maximum right up front, and then we're done with it.
Yeah, it would be nice, but with the number that's currently agreed to, but between Toll Brothers and Natick, Natick has now reinterpreted that I to just be for the flow from Coolidge Crossing to Meadowbrook Commons.
How does that benefit Natick?
They'll get additional funds later when other connections come in.
Yeah, that is what I would have expected would happen. I can't imagine Toll Brothers would want to pay other people's fees.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way we did intend and try that, but that's not currently what is being negotiated from Natick.
So how do we set our INI fee then? I mean, you have to do some kind of engineering study, or what do you do? Or
Well,
you
I guess
just
it needs to be
assume?
the cost of actually removing a gallon. So the cost of removing and that's just the legalistic terms, just the way fees are supposed to be set. They
1
need to be
gallon
based-
per every 4 gallons of.
Yeah, it's a
of
ratio. So you
legitimate
need to
stuff.
figure out how much 1 gallon is, and then it's 4 times that.
Oh, wait a second, it's the other way around.
And just, I think this is where my question a minute ago came from. So wouldn't we just tie it to, because Natick would do that calculation for each new connection. So we would just use Natick's calculation plus whatever.
That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, I see, okay.
So maybe it used to be $4 per gallon. I don't know what it is right now, but whatever theirs is plus some small amount. So no, I don't think you need to do a whole new study. It needs to be.
Mhm.
What Natick says plus a little more.
So if it's, I'm sorry to drill down on this, but
Yeah.
I'm really trying to understand. So if it's a certain amount per gallon of flow, and you're assuming a per gallon of flow based on the water input into that property, is that correct? Your gallon of sewage flow out of the property is assumed to be the same as the gallonage of water used by the property.
Yep.
Or allocated to the property.
Yeah, that's an assumption in the industry. That's across the board.
So.
And that's the way that the MWRA generally would like communities to account for it.
So the INI fee then is a fraction per gallon, or is it?
It's not a fraction,
A fraction of the total.
it's a multiple of the usage. It's not a fraction. You need to pay 4 times the amount that you're adding. It's a 4-to-1 ratio.
Yikes.
Yeah, that's the MWRA's requirement.
Wow.
Which, does create more capacity in their system over time. So they get a tighter system, they get less flow to their treatment plant in Deer Island.
It's a one-time fee though, right? It's just a one-time fee.
Development it's a one-time fee, one-time connection.
It's a one-time fee based on what? 1 day, 1 week, 1 year of flow?
It's annual, it's annualized, yeah.
For a year of flow?
Yeah.
Okay.
So a regular septic, they consider each bedroom 110 gallons.
Well, I mean, I guess
Yeah, I
not
don't know how they do it on a house.
Generally calculated per gallons per day. So I guess it's based on gallons per day. It's generally the way that it's calculated. It's a fee per gallon per day, $1 per gallon per day.
Okay.
Have any idea what they consider a daily use?
It's generally based on Title V assumptions,
Yeah.
which overestimate flow, but again, that's the
Yeah.
industry standard.
So a 3-bedroom house, they figure 330 gallons a day.
Correct.
So 330 times 365, right? Is that what you're saying?
Well, it would be 330 times the gallons per day cost, 330 times $4 per gallon per day. So it's not a massive fee, but it is a fee.
Yeah.
So on that basis, it would be $1,200.
Family homes, $2,000-$3,000 fee.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems about right. We came to Sherborn from Natick. I don't recall the sewer charges on our water bill being all that bad, or sewer charges being all that bad.
Yeah, you wouldn't see it on your
Multiple of that.
your quarterly or monthly usage bill. It would have been a one-time fee paid by, generally, the builder of the home would have paid it. So it wouldn't show up in your regular bill. It would have been paid at the time of the connection.
Mhm. But if it was somehow attached to our usage, like if it were like scaled relative to expected use, okay.
Calculated up front. It's not scaled on actual usage. It's just a calculation up front based on Title V flow data.
Mm.
using the arithmetic, Gus just gave you 330 times 4. Okay, would be what, $1,300, $1,200, $1,320
Yeah.
one-time fee.
So that's based on a single day, not annual.
That's right.
Yeah, all right.
Oh, okay,
So
So-
5-bedroom house.
yeah,
So that someone living on Coolidge Street in the district, but not in the Meadowbrook, or that wanted to add to the district.
Yeah.
First, they'd have to be approved by the commissioners.
Yep.
And then if they were, then they will be charged a one-time fee based on their usage.
Correct.
And that usage is calculated based on the number of bedrooms
Correct.
times the number of gallons per bedroom, which is a standard, okay, times,
Times the, the rate that's
Rate.
current.
okay.
and that's how much we, the water commission, would have to pay to Natick for that hookup.
So we would want
We
to
would-
have a little,
I mean, would we just do the same thing for Sherborn and double it? It's a matter of kind of free money for the water district to use.
well, we'd have to set that fee,
That's the basis of the fees, though. If when you're setting a fee, a municipal fee, it's gotta be based on your actual cost. You can't use your fees to make money. You cover your costs.
Okay,
If your fees were ever challenged in court, the court would look to what's your basis of the fees? Is it actually based on actual cost?
well, in that example, our fee was $1,320.
Yeah.
And so we might add a small amount,
Fee or small
Yeah.
amount, but
make it
I think,
1,400.
at a later time, at some point, you will need to set all of your fees. You
Right.
can set
Gotcha,
your connection fees, your II fee, what you're gonna charge per gallon of usage, what rate tiers, are you gonna have an escalating rate tier, a conservation type rate tier where a small amount of water is at this certain rate, but as users use more water, they pay more per gallon. It's called the conservation rate. It's generally the standard out there now to incentivize economic use of water.
right.
But you'll have to assess that and create those rates at some point. There are many consultants out there that work for water and sewer utilities to help them set their rates. They do
Yeah.
analysis of costs and revenues and.
Tough one when you're starting from scratch. A lot of towns have a history of expenses, right, that they can go back on. We're starting from scratch. We don't know
Yep.
anything about what it's gonna cost.
Right. We need to start developing those costs. So, I mean, we're gonna know how much it's gonna cost to pay the wholesale water costs to buy the water from Framingham. That's gonna be something known. Same for discharge of water to Natick. So those are knowns.
Yeah.
What you don't know is administrative costs.
Our superintendent, or, yeah.
If you're gonna have a vendor helping you run it, likely you're gonna hire a company like a Whitewater that oversees, does the maintenance, the daily maintenance here at the town campus water supply. Maybe
Yeah.
a contractor like that, what that cost is gonna be. But you can certainly start getting cost estimates from those folks.
Sure.
Yeah.
Here's what our system's gonna be like. Hey, Whitewater, hey, Weston and Sampson, can you give us a proposal? They'd be happy to, they're looking for business. And that would help inform your costs.
Matt and I did some research on those companies, like we talked about, just general. We talked about it a little bit, and I think we decided to wait to go too far on those until we find out what's going on with these wells, see if it's an actual viable project.
On the wells.
Yeah, to see whether the water sewer hookup is actually gonna be viable at something. But once it's a go, then we decided we would
Dig
deeper
further.
dive, yeah.
Sure, okay. And Meadowbrook would not be involved in any of this since they're not hooking up with sewers,
Oh, Meadowbrook Road.
right?
Yeah, the residents
not at
there.
this point.
I mean, they're within the district, so.
But they're not
Oh,
not
accessing,
immediately, there's no sewer pipe or water pipe for that matter going down Meadowbrook Road.
Right.
So they're, as of now, they're not gonna be provided any infrastructure to connect.
Yeah, if the town helps them raise money, for example, and say we get a grant and we put a pipe down Meadowbrook
water pipe.
with a water sewer, yeah, let's
Well-
say water,
Mhm.
water pipe down Meadowbrook. Then there's a whole another set of calculations
No.
with a ball of wax as to what we charge, for the sewer, I should say.
Well, I don't
Not
think,
sewer as well.
You have a rate for sewer and you have a rate for water. You'll have different rates.
Are they all on septic at the moment? Because if they stay on septic and they just take the water so that they don't have to worry about whatever, groundwater contamination might be.
Yep.
potentially coming,
Yep.
then it wouldn't, then that shouldn't factor in.
There'd be a water connection charge.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
water
water-
connection charge, but not the sewer that we're talking about at the moment. Well, I guess that's not the only.
Okay,
okay,
so this is in
We're getting-
bylaws. It sounds like a detail that, well, I guess that's a general principle that needs to be in the bylaws. But the details of how that would be charged and everything also have to be in the rules and regs, right?
Yeah, yep.
It's true, we probably shouldn't even have the fee in the
Bylaw.
bylaw, it should be in the rules and regs, yeah.
It seems that way.
Except that this is the sewer system, and I assume there'll be another document that has the sewer regs?
I think they've written to be
Both?
one set of bylaws for both water and sewer,
Oh.
and one set of regulations for both water.
both water and sewer.
Okay, so this, I did notice that this only really referenced, it talked about the water and sewer district, but I think it only really referenced the water. Like sewer is not really, I could be wrong, but I didn't even think
In the
it was
bylaw.
in here. Sorry, I'm jumping now to the rules and regs. I don't think that the sewer is discussed. I think it's really just water.
Yeah, it's titled water rules and regulations.
So I didn't,
So, you know, they
because I thought the same thing, and I'm like, well, where's the sewer? And then I realized it was,
Okay, I didn't inquire.
yeah,
And they
Maybe
probably should be
that's
separate.
intended.
Would it be
or
good to
what you're
have-
thinking, having one bylaw
for
and
the,
then two regulations?
Yeah.
Okay.
Be good to have them separate in case the water does go up there, then you don't have to worry about breaking out.
Yeah.
Regulations.
Well, wait a second though. We have water rules and regulations, and we have another one, sewer rules and regulations, right?
It sounds like there should be, but we don't have it.
we don't have it
We
yet.
haven't seen it yet,
Yeah.
but our bylaws should be just our bylaws.
Should cover everything. And it probably shouldn't have the schedule of fees in the bylaw. It should be in the rules and regs, like you said.
Yeah, I agree, but a general reference to the schedule of fees is probably fine
Yes.
in the bylaw.
Yep.
Without the detail.
Right.
Just so that there is one version that is getting edited, Andrea, are you going to be making notes and then adding the notes to the document, or don't think I will be able to do it very well on this end, or is Jeremy going to add in comments?
Yeah, I'll take a stab at it, and if we can circulate it in case anyone thinks of anything else, and then do you want to forward it on to Liz, or
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure
how do we do this?
how, so
Or do we
I
just,
think they're providing these drafts to help
so,
you.
so we don't send them
They're
to
not
her?
functioning as your consultant. So
Right, right,
I think we can, to some extent, you can, help and, ask them questions and try to seek their help, but at some point, they're gonna say it's your document. And
They're gonna be
you
our.
folks are gonna need to take ownership of it, so just to put out expectations that technically they're not your consultant, they're working for Toll Brothers.
yep,
to help
true,
you.
that's true,
Um,
right,
So
yeah.
the commission will have to take ownership of these documents. And
Who would be the best person to have review this? And then maybe not, obviously not prior to the October draft submittals, but we should have someone look at this for us. Legal. legal, municipal.
Legal, well, I mean, the town has town council and the town has special counsel that help with the special legislation, neither of which are gonna be overly helpful on technical water and sewer matters.
Okay,
We almost, when we need a legal and someone to go over the rules and regs.
right, that would say this
Like,
is
it
how
can't be
these things
Liz.
work better,
Yeah,
yeah.
it can't be Liz, but somebody from
Right.
would it be from an engineering
A consultant,
Yeah, engineering consultant.
maybe like the Whitewater,
Challenge is, there's, commission funds.
yeah. We want a minutes clerk, that's what we really want,
What I want.
don't we?
This is chicken and the egg, right? You don't
Yeah,
have
it really
any revenues
is.
yet, so you don't have any funds to
Do
expend.
anything,
But you can't get revenue until you get things up and running. But to get things up and running, you need to do
Yeah.
some work. So
yeah,
Need a venture.
You've got a lot of notations
we
here.
do.
Are you ready to
Do you want to move on?
well, I've got more comments.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's go. I mean, I'm happy to consolidate it and make comments in the document and we can meet again or whatever.
Well, no,
And I know
mean,
he can announce himself, but I want you to know that Steve was able to finally attend. He's here with us now.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Steve is present.
Okay,
Hi, everybody. Sorry, I was on the road. So.
So, okay,
page 8.
page 8. So, page 8.
Point 2.
I would agree with making it, keeping it less specific.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, there shouldn't be like specific amounts.
yeah.
what's that?
In this
Yeah.
document, it's highlighted under 7.3 betterments. On page 8, she highlights a betterment assessment equal to 50% of the final project cost shall be levied on benefiting properties. And she thought that we should not have a specific amount. I would,
And
whatever this is, I agree with that.
and I said, let's let the commission
Do
decide
folks
that.
know what betterments are? Do you understand that?
No, please.
Okay. So betterments are a way.
Improving?
Improving, actually, it's more of a way of expanding your system.
Okay.
Not improving per se,
Okay,
more a way to expand your system.
okay,
And there's a mass general laws that enable what are called betterments, where properties that are bettered, that receive the benefit of that extension, pay the cost.
Pay the cost.
Or in some communities, they pay a share of the cost and the utility or the town pays the other share. The Mass General Law doesn't require that communities or utilities pay a share. It can be fully bettered, 100% on those that get bettered. That's probably the best way to start, because you don't have any other funding to contribute. So put the betterment on those that are bettered. So 100% of the betterment cost would be put on those properties that are bettered.
Right. This,
That's in line with Mass General Law. There are some communities that have adopted their own bylaws that put some share of the costs on the community or the other ratepayers. But
So
can be dicey.
So the 50% should be 100%?
That's the default by Mass General Law, that those that are bettered pay the cost,
Or, okay,
not others.
500%?
Yeah,
this section actually distinguishes between district-initiated projects, and that sentence refers to district-initiated projects. For example, if the district decided to go for a grant to put pipes down Meadowbrook, that's what this 50% of the final project cost refers to, not citizen petition projects. That's separate.
Oh,
There's two different
Yeah,
sorts of that.
then those are just improvements that the district would do. I don't think it's proper to call them betterments.
No.
Betterments are those, is a process that actually puts costs on those that are bettered. You know, the district can do projects and has the authority to do projects by the special legislation without bettering. I mean, you would have to cover the cost somehow by way of, you know, adjusting your rates to pay the debt service or something, but I think you should reserve betterments by way of just, betterments are initiated by not the district, by a request of others.
Right,
And
so,
then because it's a request of them, they pay the cost.
right. So number two is the one that we would keep.
Correct.
Citizen petition projects.
District initiated projects are not betterments. They're just district
They're extension.
projects.
So they don't, that doesn't apply, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that one gets striked out,
Should we strike out the,
Yeah.
district.
I would
initiated
strike,
project.
yeah, I would 731, number 1.
yep,
District initiated projects, I think it's confusing to have in betterments.
oh, so we should remove the whole thing.
Remove number 1 in its entirety.
And then number, citizen position is one.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. All betterments would be based on citizen petitions.
And we would also take out the last sentence of that introductory.
Yep.
7.3.
Yeah, that comes out, right.
Types of eligible projects.
So you don't have a paragraph 1, do you?
It's gone.
Yeah. Oh, and then the applicability is just for citizen petitioned projects.
And that had been talked about with some of the Meadowbrook Road residents, that is a mechanism for them to extend water down there, or sewer for that matter, but
Right.
water more likely would be that they get together as a group and petition the district for a betterment. And then, you know, the district takes it on as a project and does that water main extension. However, the costs are then bettered. They're put on those properties. The properties could finance them over time. This Mass General Law that's cited gives you all the detail on how it actually mechanically works.
Okay.
But those that are bettered could pay it all up. You know, if they had the fund, they could pay the lump sum, or they could finance it over 20, 30 years. So.
But it's up to the people that are bettered.
I mean, another thing, like Marion mentioned, maybe there's grants that are available when the district takes it on, and there's no need to better it because a grant's paying for the cost.
Right.
But this is a mechanism for those residents to finance it over time and get a water main, and, you know, get that water service.
Can there be a combination of those two? Can the town get a grant and then
Sure.
to lessen the betterment, those can work together?
Yeah, certainly.
Now, the question I guess I have is, we've got 12 homes on Meadowbrook. Suppose 5 wanted to better and 7 didn't.
It's majority rules.
Oh,
If the district, if you get a petition for a betterment, and again, the Mass General Law cited here gives that clarity. If there is a betterment request provided to the district and the district accepts that request, it's based on a majority.
Of the majority of the Meadowbrook residents?
Majority of the project, so whatever is defined.
And the project would be Meadowbrook.
If it's the entirety of Meadowbrook, then if that's the project, then that's the majority, yes.
So if 7 voted yes and 5 said no,
Then it would be a betterment, and the betterment would be assessed to all of them.
all 12.
Really? Even though they don't hook up?
Yep.
And it's
The
a,
betterment would be
it's-
attached by.
it's a lien on the,
deed.
it's a lien on the deed.
Lien on the deed.
No way.
So,
Huh?
I thought.
I have a question. I have a question, because if I were a homeowner there and this were coming my way, it wasn't at all there when I purchased a home, and this is kind of coming out of the blue. Legally, is that how does that work legally, that this could get imposed on them just for being there? after, yeah.
Established by the state statute, Mass General Law.
Mm.
So there's a process that would need to be followed, a hearing, approval at town meeting. I think at town meeting, but maybe the special legislation doesn't require that, but you'd need to have hearings as a commission.
So it doesn't-
You would need to notify those folks. You could choose not to do the betterment. And nobody gets it. But if you chose to do the betterment, then it would need to be fairly assessed to all of those. that
all of
receive
that receive the betterment, okay.
That be benefit,
And
even if it's a
and
future benefit.
And presumably that betterment would have been reflected in the value of the property.
It reflects, the betterment is based on the cost of the construction for the water main. So say the water main costs $100,000 and you had 10 connections, everybody would pay $10,000. But if somebody had a double lot and had more frontage and they could subdivide it later, then you might want to assess it a little differently because there could be a potential for another hookup. So again, the general Mass General Law and some of the guidance from the DOR, Department of Revenue, gives more clarity on that. So they've got the right citations here.
I guess by extrapolation, if the town of Sherborn decided to bring in MWI water and sewer to the whole town, and the majority of the town voted on the town meeting, and we had the money for it.
Yep.
Everyone would have to
Pay the
pay higher
taxes.
taxes.
That's right.
Interesting.
Everyone in the town.
That's the minimum, if you just wanted to go by this majority. That's just what the statute says. You could adopt different requirements, supermajority, 75%, whatever, as your process. But if you defaulted to Mass General Law, it's just a simple majority.
Well, there wouldn't be any reason to not have just a simple majority, would there?
No, I
No,
mean,
I don't think so.
I mean, I think it's good to be in your bylaws to have the ability to do betterment. So I think just in general, having this statement in your bylaws is a good one because it gives you more tools and potential users more tools to get water or sewer. How you implement it, you've got to, at a minimum, follow the Mass General Law for betterments, but you can, with like many things in the state, you can make it a little more stringent.
so the citizen petition projects, that would also cover a developer developing something up on Kendall. Would a
Not
developer
necessarily,
be
I think.
concerned as?
I would call that would be probably not a betterment, it would be a major connection that you would consider, certain requirements of that development, that they do things.
But if it were within the capacity limit that we already have.
Yeah.
um,
But depending on where that development is, you might need them, we'll allow you to do sewer, but you need to build the sewer pipes to get the sewerage out, right? Right now sewer is only going from Meadowbrook
that's
to
right.
Coolidge,
You have to
but,
go all the way.
right,
Yeah.
so. But that, I wouldn't call that a betterment because only one entity looking for a major connection, but that major connection might require, any number of things to make it work and meet your guidelines and regulations. One reason you will have regulations is that if somebody wants to connect, you can say, you need to meet these regulations.
But if an individual on Coolidge Street wants to connect, is that considered a betterment?
No.
Oh, okay.
One connection is not a
It's
betterment.
is a betterment. to
Betterment is like
system.
adding a main, a main,
Okay,
water main, sewer main in the roadway. A service connection is just that, it's a service
Okay.
connection.
Okay, so this would just be Meadowbrook water.
So the water and sewer cuts into the project before it gets to any other properties on Coolidge?
All property.
So if waters run down Meadowbrook,
Yeah.
even if the people didn't vote on it, they have to pay.
If it was put in by way of a betterment and that process was followed by the commission, then yes, there would be a betterment assessed for every property.
But the water running on Coolidge, any of those houses on Coolidge are they bettered
They
by
are
this?
already better. They see the benefit because you physically.
Go in the district.
Put the pipe in. Those folks along Coolidge would not require a betterment getting water.
Yeah,
But they would have to pay to connect.
They would need to pay a connection fee,
right.
right? But
But not a betterment.
yes, they are receiving a benefit for being on Coolidge Street where
Someone's putting
putting in
it
a water
in. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. So the connection fee, but not that.
Doesn't seem fair, but it's just
Yeah, I get
the
it.
reality of where the water main is gonna be.
Yeah, I get it. Interesting. Yeah, I had always thought that the betterment was funded by whoever was proposing it. And then as people hooked up, they would pay the benefit and that benefit would go back to the group or whoever paid for that benefit. I didn't know that it got charged whether you hooked up or not. So the betterment gets charged and then they still would have to pay a hookup fee.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Right,
Okay.
but in this case, Toll Brothers is paying for the.
Yeah,
major
I was mostly
betterment.
talking about Meadowbrook, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't understand how that worked.
Well, well, the water main on Meadowbrook is not part of the Toll Brothers' responsibility.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think if you just think of it as the betterment is simply having the option to tie into a water main. And so whether you choose that option or not, that option has now been given to you where before you never had the option. So you're paying to even have the option there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
thank you.
Right.
Okay. Article 9 at the end, I'm just looking at the things that were highlighted actually, and it says 2/3 vote. Looks like that is any or all of these bylaws may be repealed, amended, or other bylaws may be voted at any district meeting by it probably should be a 4/5 vote, right?
For vote according to our legislation.
Right, okay. Okay.
I think, I mean, you might wanna. Generally not good practice. You might wanna add something like after duly advertising such change, you know. I think bylaws you should kind of not just change on a whim, and you should have some transparency with. Sometimes for similar things, there's a requirement that there be a first reading of proposed change at one meeting, and then you don't take action until a subsequent meeting, just to ensure that there's some transparency in your rulemaking.
So would such, say, public hearings
I don't know if you
include-
want to make it a public hearing, but just read at one of your meetings as a first reading, just
Oh, okay,
public hearings are, you need to then define what you mean by a public hearing. I
Yeah,
think
that's
just
what I was
having
thinking, is
a
it-
duly posted meeting is enough, but that maybe you have a first reading and then you have a vote at a subsequent meeting, just to, so you don't just have things changed on a whim
Right.
during your meeting.
but in the legislation, we are a public group, we have to have our meetings publicly. For new bylaws and that would all be a public meeting. So
Yeah.
is there any point, this is just a kind of a general gestalt question, is there any point at which the current users of the current customers of the water district have to be included
No,
in the discussions?
no, you represent the users, it's the commission.
Could I go back to 1.3?
Yeah.
District should be governed by a commission composed of
Yeah, I was,
3 members appointed by the Sherborn Select Board,
yeah, we
And
got
one- by Meadowbrook Commons, and one,
That should be right out of the special legislation. Whatever the wording in the special legislation is, that's what governs the makeup.
okay. That is, I think it's
You know, it talks
different.
about in the
Oh, there's-
legislation is the interim, but then in the final configuration,
There you go.
it's 3 members appointed by the district, by the select board. And I thought it was 1 from Meadowbrook Commons and 1 from Coles Crossing.
That's right. 2 by the select board, 1 by the water commissioners, and
Oh,
1 each from,
2 by the select board?
yep,
so special legislation shall be exercised by a board of 5 members, one of which shall be appointed by the owner and or manager of the rental housing project, one of which shall be appointed by the condominium homeowners association of the senior housing project, 2 of which shall be appointed by the town of Sherborn Select Board, and 1 of which shall be appointed by the water commissioners of the town of Sherborn.
Oh, okay.
We can just put that language right in there.
Yeah.
right. And we are the interim commission, so it's the select board who appointed us.
Yep.
But only interim.
Okay.
Um,
And then staggered 3-year terms now. Is that true just for the 2 select board representatives?
Or is that a suggestion?
It's a suggestion. It's worded differently in the special legislation. Members appointed by the rental and senior housing project shall initially be appointed up to a 3-year term. The member appointed by the water commissioner shall initially be appointed a 2-year term. Of the members appointed by the select board, 1 shall initially be appointed by a 3-year term and the other a 2-year term. As the terms of each of the initial members expire, their successors shall be appointed to aforesaid to 3 years each.
We ought to get that wording.
yeah,
That's awfully
Here.
confusing, but
Right.
it's somewhat standard.
right.
It works out that
So
way.
not everyone leaves at once.
Yeah.
But I would just copy and paste all that right into it, so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, we appoint a water superintendent.
We may appoint a water.
may. You have the.
May
authority to do
appoint.
so. You don't
Oh,
have to,
it's
but you
permissive. And is that water superintendent, well, the commission of 5 commissioners would have to vote 4 out of 5
Essentially, any
to appoint,
determination, anything you do requires that.
Right.
in Special legislation.
but 4 out of 5 would have to support appointing a water superintendent.
Yeah.
And then they would have to agree 4 out of 5 on who that person is. Right. Now, is the superintendent paid?
At your discretion, you have the ability to, you could pay them, yep. Likely to get somebody to do that or a consultant to do that, you will likely need to pay them.
So we decide, the commission would decide what to pay and
Yeah.
what the terms of that would be.
And I think you can appoint like a superintendent or you can appoint a consultant as your operator, right? So maybe it's not a named person per se. I mean, you would want to know the qualifications of the said company, that they have the right, that you know who's going to be doing the work and that they're qualified. But do you need to name a certain individual of that company or the company in general?
Well, in other words, we might hire Whitewater,
Sure. Maybe.
serve as our water superintendent. And pay them a
Essentially
consultant.
Hire them to operate your system and perform the duties of a water superintendent and operators. Yeah.
And that works well to have the superintendent and the operators the same.
Yes, that would be more ideal, yeah. When I was at Natick as the Public Works Director, I was the superintendent of the water department. And the staff all reported to me to operate.
Yeah.
And you want another job?
We appoint.
My water operator licenses are
Oh, they're
not current anymore.
expired. That was smart.
I had them, but don't have them anymore.
But then would the commission decide what the scope of work is of the water superintendent?
Yep.
And how much,
I mean, if it was an actual position, you would need a job description and rate of pay and that sort of thing as to hire a staff member. If it was a consultant, you'd have a scope of work and an agreement with that said firm and a cost for that.
okay,
And that's where you run into the chicken or the egg you were talking about too. So how do you get the superintendent to run a system that you haven't charged for yet?
well, the cost of the.
Companies will give you cost estimates and
Yeah.
proposals because they'll want the future work.
Yeah.
You won't have the funds to actually execute an agreement with them until you get revenue,
Right.
or some other form of.
But the cost of all that would be added to the cost of obtaining the water and
That's right.
the Natick charges to,
Yeah,
Right.
all of those expenses go into your rate model or.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a rate model in Natick and Framingham that I put together, but that's part of the input. Your
Has anyone-
expenses and your revenue and what you need to charge per gallon and estimates of usage and.
has anyone gone through some preliminary numbers as to what the rates would be?
Not
It might
that
be
I'm
interesting
aware
because when you think about it, this is a very small
of. Yep.
operation.
I mean, in reality,
I mean-
I guess in a way we have in that it's not that hard to estimate. So your water rate or your sewer rate is going to be it's going to necessarily be a bit more for each than Natick and Framingham charge, right?
Right,
Because that's with the sunk cost, you got to pay the wholesale rate to them. So it's going to be that cost plus a little bit more for your operations. It's going to be in that ballpark.
Does anyone understand why there's added language? So we were just on the water superintendent and the operating authority for the water.
Yeah.
Then the next part is the sewer. And there's a couple paragraphs that are added first. It says Toll Brothers acting under the agreement with the commission shall initially serve as the responsible party for the construction, operation, maintenance of the sewer. And for ensuring compliance. And then when the district upon the district receiving or authorizing sewer connections for any development, the commission shall terminate Toll Brothers operation and appoint a sewer superintendent or other entity. Is there any reason that that isn't the same in the water that you know of, or should that be?
Where is that in the regulation?
That's on, no, it's
Yeah, 1.4.2
three.
It's
page 3.
in the middle.
page 3. It's the next, so we were just on page
1.4.2.
2 now, yeah, so it's 1.4.2 directly
middle
follows the water. 1.4.1 we were just looking at, and then 1.4.2. I think I can ask the question, I suppose, if it would
Yeah,
apply.
She said, please engage your legal team and maintenance team. I think we need to think this through.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not a fan of in your bylaws calling out the name of a company for.
that's a very good point, too.
I mean, it can be more generally stated, but I mean, it's not wrong in that until you accept it, there'll be a formal process of the commission accepting all the infrastructure, and you'll need to be comfortable with built to your standards and all this stuff, right? And then it's turned over to you, but up until that point, Toll Brothers will be operating it. They'll be installing it, and then they'll need to quote operate it until it's turned over to the district. So that's not wrong. It's just kind of odd to have the name of a specific name of a company.
In your bylaw.
Oh, yeah. in the second paragraph of that section, upon the district receiving or authorizing sewer connections for any development use or property outside of Coolidge Crossing and Meadowbrook Commons.
The commission shall terminate.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I'm not following what they're trying to say there. Upon the district receiving or authorizing sewer connection, don't.
It's only when someone outside hooks up that we appoint a sewer superintendent.
Interesting.
That entity. That doesn't make
Yeah,
sense.
and Liz said that they need to talk to their legal, I think whoever put it together may not have fully understood what.
That's interesting in that if there's only two customers and they're both toll brothers, maybe it's in your interest to let them keep operating until you've got other customers. That's not
Yeah, maybe.
not a bad idea.
Well, you know,
Well, there will be,
we won't
Yeah.
want to take it over
Maybe
necessarily.
you don't want to. If it's just,
I mean-
just those two entities, let them keep operating it. You don't have to assess any, you don't have to collect any revenue, you don't have to pay any expenses, you don't have to do anything.
Well,
They-
this is so once somebody else does add, say, like Sweet Meadow Farm does not have a septic system, and I could imagine they would really like to hook up to the sewer if possible. Once that hooks up, then this would go away under.
If- You necessarily need to be a fully operating district.
But say, for example, that Coolidge Crossing and Meadowbrook Commons are completely constructed. It's done. But nobody else has hooked up yet.
Yep.
But Meadowbrook Commons has been sold, and now we're dealing not with Toll Brothers, there, but with the homeowners association.
Yep.
By that time, we would want to have assumed
Maybe, or
control.
it's the homeowners association and the apartment complex operating it together
Mhm.
in a private manner.
Yeah, we could still leave it up to
There's
them.
something to be said for that.
That's true.
You know, it kind of, if it's only, two entities, it's essentially a private connection.
Mhm.
Do you need to be a fully functioning district?
There's no way to keep, there's no way to keep someone from hooking up to it, is there, if it crosses their path?
well, no, but
Is it,
the way the way this is set up,
I mean, generally you would be allowing connections, but
Mhm.
it's not a,
Right.
it needs to meet your standards. So they need to prove they can meet your standards and regulations and show you a design. If they can't propose a connection that's gonna go over the flow limit, they can't propose a connection that has hazardous materials discharging.
Mhm.
So, yeah, there's things you could deny, and again, that would be the regulations would help you with that.
Again, I don't know anything about anything, but it seems like we should think through with the Toll Brothers being in charge until there's that extra connection, and think through that not being the case at all, because then there would be an enormous barrier to allowing, other residents to add in.
That's right, Toll Brothers would essentially have two votes.
Yeah, it would just be sort of operating as a private source. Yeah, it would not allow more connections to come in all that easily. That's what the district would allow. There is some overlap with that second paragraph there with what might be in a development agreement between Toll Brothers and the town.
And this is a section we need to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then is it a parallel with the water?
Yeah.
So
It really
what,
should be, I
the
don't know,
same.
it's separated.
Right.
It should be the
okay,
water or the system.
okay.
you're getting all these changes.
Every
And
last one, Frank.
it'll be in the recording too. It'll be in the recording.
Yeah, that's why we're recording. It's the only good thing about recording.
It's the only way to remember anything anymore.
So let me think this through again, Jeremy. You mentioned maybe just let Toll Brothers continue running it because there's only going to be.
Wait, there is two sections there. There's one on the operating authority water system.
Right.
Operating authority sewer system.
So
So I think they're calling this out differently because the sewer system is a force main from these two developments.
It may never be more than that, just from those two developments. I see what you're saying.
I don't find the,
So could that mean that if water services were added, Tolbert still just is gonna own and operate the sewer part of it?
but not the water?
Right? 'Cause I mean, it's a whole lot easier to add water connections than wastewater.
And then we would really just be monitoring and operating the water system.
Water system.
so, I'm sorry, but where do you find the operating authority for the sewer system, for the water system?
The page prior, it's only one paragraph.
Yeah, it's 1.4.1.
Oh, okay.
That's all there is there. That's,
Oh, okay.
it's,
I think now seeing there's the two, I think it's because of the force main nature. The way the sewer, since it can't run by gravity and have a big pipe, it's got to be under force pumped. It's a small diameter pump, you know. They have pumps on their site that are going to pump this water through these small diameter pipes. So it's not easily other connections, and you can't just tap into that force main that basically just serves those two businesses.
Is that the entire length to where the sewer connection is? This one is Framingham, is that right for the, oh, no, Natick, sorry, it's late.
It require that force main to discharge into a sewer manhole and then flow by gravity into their system, which would be near the town line.
Okay,
But that force main, you would, since it would only serve those two properties, you should just keep those property owners as the owners of it and not have to deal with it. So you only have a sewer system once there's actually other sewer mains. So there, yeah.
So
So there is, this does make some sense, the way they've got this written. But
the
I
water
don't think it should be
super,
Toll Brothers, it should say something
Developer.
like the property owners of those two properties.
Yeah.
Some general reference to that.
right.
That way, if it does transfer, it's covered.
there's nothing in 1.4.1 though that captures how that transition will occur and when
Yep.
from the developer's oversight of the water system
Yeah.
to the commission's oversight. Maybe there should be something there.
I thought I read it somewhere, but I have no idea where at this point.
Wow.
Yeah.
sorry, my screen went to night coloring. If I noticed.
Still shows up pretty well here. Thanks.
Right,
Yep.
I can change my settings if I need to.
So let me just review for me. How many customers will the district have?
As many connections as there is, and that will vary over time, but initially when it starts, there will be Meadowbrook Commons, there'll be Coolidge Crossing, and then there is at least one property that's currently served by Framingham Water that would be tied over
Yeah.
your water system,
Yeah, 3 properties
three
actually.
properties. So you'd start with 5, you'd kind of be handed a system that has 5 customers.
And who are the
2
three?
Gagan properties and 1 is, the what's it called? The condos
Kendall, is it the Kendall?
Meadows?
on Sherborn Meadows, thanks, Rick.
Oh, Sherborn Meadows, Sunshine Farm,
Sunshine Farm.
and Columbia Farm?
No, it's Larry Gagan's old
Oh,
place.
Larry's,
So those 3 existing would be tied over from directly in the Framingham system to this district. And then Meadowbrook Commons and Coolidge Crossing. So you'd start with 5 water customers.
that's
That would be your district. You wouldn't have any sewer customers if you
5?
followed what they're proposing. 5.
I was gonna say.
3 on Kendall and the 2 developments.
I can help
Anyway,
you.
you
Well,
cut
he
it
was
to
saying 5.
Oh, I
Yeah, 5.
All right,
5.
Sorry.
that's for water, that's for water,
Oh.
that's for water and sewer?
No, just for water.
Just for water, and then only 2 for sewer.
Or none if you
Yeah.
follow what they're proposing up there by way of, until you have any other wastewater customers other than those 2 force main connections, you wouldn't have any sewer customers to start.
Just thinking who might want in the future though, and I know this is no news to anybody, people up and down Meadowbrook probably would be interested in water. And I know that potentially Sweet Meadow Farm would be interested in sewer if that were made available. And there may be others on the sewer, but I just know that they have been having their sewage pumped for years and years and years and years. They have a porta potty.
That would be a tough one, like you explained.
Yeah, they might
It would have
need to have a sewer force main all the way to the Natick town line to make that happen.
Yeah.
I don't know if you,
Where you
I don't know if you
Or
get,
you do a betterment and add a gravity sewer main to a pump station
Mm,
and pump it up. But then you're in a betterment, and then you're starting to assess betterments to folks that haven't connected to sewer yet.
And those would be the properties down Coolidge.
Yeah, I mean, if you were to do sort of if you were to look at this whole neighborhood or district to try to get sewer in it, you would necessarily need to look at areas where you get gravity mains down to a sewer pump station, a low spot, and then a sewer pump station pumping up into the Natick system.
do you know where Toll Brothers proposed? I couldn't tell them their plan where they
Yeah,
proposed their pump station. Is it inside?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're not gonna gravity at
No,
all
and I think they go into one pump station and then go
on
up.
site, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I'm imagining there's not a whole lot of excess capacity to use their pump station.
yeah. I don't know how a single entity could tee into that. That would be a backflow
Yeah.
issue.
So Sherborn Meadows would not be on the sewer.
They would, if they wanted to be on sewer, they'd need to approach you with a scheme to do it.
I think they might be on Framingham sewer already.
I think they are.
Oh, Sweet Meadow? Oh, yeah.
No, Sherborn.
No, Sherborn Meadows,
Oh, yeah.
the 24 unit.
Up on Framingham.
I can't imagine they're not on
I don't
Framingham
know.
sewer.
Their sewer system is.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure they're on sewer, on Framingham sewer, separate from this.
are.
Or on Framingham
They
Water.
are, Tom says.
Do we know how it gets into their system? Does it go along, what street is that?
Kendall,
Kendall?
Yeah, it just goes over the line from,
Wasn't there something that cut through a field? What did we talk about before? That something went through the
Like not
field?
in the roadway, then it's
Yeah.
not gonna be in your system. It's gonna go over private properties from Sherborn into Framingham.
yeah, I don't know where the
It's
pipe
Framingham.
actually
That's
goes.
what didn't we see some document or information on that somewhere
We
I
did,
forget what we were looking at, but
it's somewhere.
there's something that cut through that field and kind of
Okay.
entered into Framingham. I can't remember.
What
the
field?
Probably the way they got their
What field? I mean-
The open space to the right of that,
this,
that,
it's right on the pond.
Yeah, between Framingham and Sherborn Meadows, there's a pond right there.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought we saw something that had something to do with,
We'll look for that.
because they weren't.
Tom has his hands up and he knows everything.
Tom?
If I
can't
could
see.
add, the condos on the town line are on both Framingham sewer and water.
Do you know how they go, Tom? Do they go out into the street or do they?
I don't know the piping, but if you go to the Board of Health records for that property,
Yeah,
that you could find that documentation. There's probably a site plan that would show the
it has
piping.
built, yeah. I thought we had talked about that at some point.
But they would come into the district for both their water and sewer. Yes? No?
Not sewer.
Not necessarily.
Not sewer,
Maybe not sewer, depends how it's connected.
but water.
Just water, yeah, because I think according to the legislation, there will be a meter at the town line.
A what?
There will be a water, what do they call it?
No meter,
A
okay.
meter or something.
Yes.
Meter at the town line
At the town line.
for water.
And Larry Gagan's property is on town, Framingham Water, and that would be on the district.
Yeah.
It will be on the district now.
Yeah.
Right.
The sewer, is he on the town sewer? We don't know.
Framingham sewer.
No, Frank, the Gagan property north of Coolidge is not on sewer.
Town sewer, what Framingham
Not on
sewer?
Framingham sewer.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's not.
But-
Tom would know.
I think you're right, Marion, but you might want to check the building records, but I think you're right.
So those properties are gonna have to connect to the water main on their own, I guess, because the old pipe is gonna have to come out. Who's gonna pay for that?
If it's a requirement of Framingham to get the district connection, I would assume you put that on Toll Brothers.
Yeah. I think they know that.
I do too.
Well, it's
That,
not much of a
not
problem.
much of, if they're doing what the water mains are there to do the
Yeah,
Connection.
easy.
service, it's kind of comes out in the wash.
But their calculations,
I don't think it's fair to put that expense on the Gagans. They've got water now and
Yeah.
they're not receiving any benefit, it's being changed because Toll Brothers gets the benefit, so Toll Brothers should pay the cost.
It seems to me, we talked about this with Toll Brothers and they're good with it.
I seem to recall that as well. What time is it?
It is 8:24.
boy, there's a lot of changes here.
You know, I know, as Josh said, we did decide to put off looking at potential water for sewer management companies or, but maybe you guys already know, but I think that shouldn't prevent us from just doing some research on them.
Yeah, we have a bunch of names. I didn't see exactly what Matt had. I've got a bunch that were the laundry list that we could go through. I think we're just kind of holding off before we made the calls because we really don't.
Yeah.
I mean, research without calling them up.
Yeah, we did some.
Yeah.
So,
Is the well pumping still in September or has it been, sorry to go off topic, but yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
The fourth well has been installed and they're gearing up to do the longer, they had to let that settle after the install before they could do the longer term pump test, but those are still scheduled for September, yes. Should happen in the next couple of weeks, we'll have results.
We'll have the results of the water from the site.
Yeah.
Both the capacity is as well as the recharge.
They'll do the long-term, of all 4 wells that have installed, they'll do the longer, I mean, I say longer, it's not that long, the 4-day pump tests.
Yeah,
As well as quality.
As well as quality, yeah. They've got the quality already done, pre-pumping, they gotta do the pumping, and then after the pumping, they'll do another round of quality. I will say, when they installed the 4th well, after they finally got approval from SDEP about the location, the well driller, when they put it in, they had to stop at about 500 feet because it was too wet.
Too much.
too wet.
Too wet.
What does that mean?
Artesian, like,
That means they hit water. We didn't want them to hit water, but they hit water. 500 feet. The other 3 wells are down at 700 feet, so lucky us, on the 4th well, they found water at 500 feet.
yay.
Was it artesian?
Well,
No, not artesian, but it was just, they couldn't keep drilling because it was wet. It was too wet. Found water. You don't need to drill anymore. You got the water.
go deeper.
Of course, that doesn't tell you anything about the capacity
It
of.
doesn't, and
Right.
how all 4 of them interrelate when they pump, so it's not definitive, just not good news.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
I guess, it's kind of getting late to start in on a whole new document, but did anyone have any thoughts on these water rules and regs, anything? One thing I noticed is that there are references to city that I think they mean the district.
I saw that.
That just hadn't been changed. But other than that,
I read through the table of contents
Yeah.
and I was scared off.
yeah,
I read through the definitions and fell asleep.
yeah, oh, I skipped those. Put what you want in there.
So I think you're seeing that city in there because I really think they
Came from the
really
city
took
doc.
Framingham and.
Right, just put it in.
Right.
So essentially, so what we need to do is change it to district, but it may need, for some reason, to me, this was a little more straightforward, but I'm sure I'm missing some.
No, it
This is
could
why
be,
we need,
because having, I know Framingham, generally, we had a lot of folks that came from the Boston Water and Sewer Commission.
Yeah.
We set up a lot of the regulations, which are also on the MW River water, but these regulations probably are, if you trace the history back, probably come from Boston Water and Sewer Commission, adopted by Framingham in some capacity, and now we're seeing them because Toll Brothers used Framingham as the sample. And
Right.
also, to make the connection into Framingham will require us to meet certain regulations, and why not just use theirs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good starting point.
I agree.
Especially if it is from Framingham.
Yep,
So we should, which we haven't seen yet, but I can ask for, is the sewer regulations will likely quite mirror Natick's.
If we amend these, do we have to submit them to Framingham and Natick to have them approve our amendments?
No.
Okay.
I don't think we need to do that, we just, at some point, Framingham will want certification that all the infrastructure that Toll Brothers built meets their regulations. Well, Toll Brothers will need to provide sort of peer consulting inspection
Do they do it?
services. They'll need to pay for it,
Yeah. Our third party,
third party.
yeah, they will fund that though. We don't have to fund that. We're out of our treasury.
all that money we have.
We do have coming up sometime, maybe before our next meeting, probably not, this public information session that we
Oh.
still want to have.
Yeah.
And, we've heard about the process at the last meeting, which was really pretty overwhelming. It was overwhelming partly because the visuals were so complete. They were probably too complete for mere mortals such as we. So I think it might be interesting to take that scheme that they gave us and try to maybe work with them to dumb it down a little bit. To make, and kind of use the same sort of idea in the public meeting. I mean, I think the public meeting still shouldn't get into the details of the design or any changes they're making or whatever, but should again focus on the process. But at least that's my opinion, but I'd like to hear from others.
One thing about that diagram I thought would be helpful visually is to emphasize more visually than they had done what Toll Brothers is doing, which is a lot, and then what Sherborn, or the district rather, does. And I mean, there was a huge amount that the Toll Brothers was responsible for and working on, and it seemed like the role of the district was not a big part of the entire scheme.
I agree with that, and in the part that Toll Brothers has to do, I thought it would be useful for the public meeting to separate out the steps they have to take with the state, and then the steps they have to take with the town.
Yeah, and also maybe even color coding them in terms of timing, like what is ongoing, what is next steps, what is future.
And they tried hard to do that. I think they made a really, valiant attempt of getting it all.
Yeah. So there was a lot in there. It's a huge number of steps.
Anyway, it's something to think about, but we don't have anything scheduled yet. And it's probably not time to schedule it yet, right?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think they were, by the time the public information meeting might be more informed after getting the flow data.
Yeah.
So
Sounds like that's
People are looking.
now even more important to get.
the public information meeting could be like later September or first week in October timeframe.
Yeah, we're already in September, so. Right. I'm thinking October at the earliest.
I'm looking here at the water rules and regulations, and it says we should not use the water for pools. Isn't there a pool planned at Coolidge?
Yeah, but they could have a tanker trucked in. They don't need to pump it from the ground. And I think there's an option that we can approve it. It just needs to be approved if they're gonna use it for the pool.
I think that's typically what people do anyways, is they
Truck it to fill it and use.
Yeah.
Well, it
city
says very
or
clearly
water.
unauthorized use. That means we could override unauthorized use.
Pardon?
It says unauthorized use would be pools, but we can override an unauthorized use as a commission?
If there is somewhere else, I don't know whether it's there or where, but it did mention that we could approve that sort of application and others, irrigation, et cetera, or whatever, on a case-by-case basis, I believe. But we should check that.
I haven't looked at other towns, but I wouldn't be surprised if they had regulations banning the draining of a pool into the sewer system. I think that's why those companies are even around, because I mean, that would be a huge extra burden on a sewer system. So I don't know of anybody that doesn't get it trucked in and trucked out. But I guess I don't know that many pool owners, but seems like everyone that I do know does it with the trucking in and trucking out.
It would simplify things for the district.
If what?
If there was a ban, if there were like a city ban.
Hadn't thought of that. Okay, well,
Yeah, I mean, all that, that chlorinated water coming from the pool, going to the sewer system,
That'd be bad.
no,
could
yeah.
wreak havoc on the sewer treatment plant.
Yeah.
I mean, in the McMurray system, it's gonna get all diluted out before it had any impact, but generally that sort of water is not something that
They
we
wouldn't
would
want it.
want to accept in the sewer system without it being dechlorinated first,
Sure.
pre-treated first. That's why it might receive a special permit or.
Okay. And it also deals with irrigation systems. And I'm just wondering, do we allow irrigation systems?
I think, I need to look at that again, but I think that we could there was a drip you could have, but you you can't have like a sprinkler system, but you could have an in-ground drip system. And you needed moisture measurements in the soil so that the system, if it's been raining for 3 days, the system would not turn on. It would first measure the moisture in the soil before it would shut on. So I think there are qualifications for,
Oh, I wonder if we'd have to link, if there were some sort of a water ban in Framingham, if it would have to be linked to their ban.
yes.
Yeah.
You have to follow, we do
All
have
right,
to
guys,
follow.
I
Hey,
have
Rose.
to log out.
Okay, good night, Steve.
Good night.
Thanks, Steve. Take care. So, you know, in the MWRA system, it's very rare that there is a water ban in Framingham for usage. They do allow irrigation. They do allow irrigation in Natick as well, even though that's not MWRA water.
People pay, if people are gonna irrigate, they have to pay for that water.
Certainly.
They'll have a water meter. So, and then the district will know if, say, a property runs over its expected use, right?
Some houses, our last house in Needham had 2 meters, had an irrigation meter and service meter.
Mhm.
And they get billed at different rates. Not only does it not get billed on sewer, which I don't think, hopefully we won't have
We
any
might not have
sewer billings, but if it comes to that. The sewer's taken off, and I think it was a different rate
Yeah,
anyhow, overall, yeah. It's the same
We're
water.
allowed it in Natick to have a separate meter.
Mhm.
And what that did is then you wouldn't get charged because the sewer fee was based on water usage.
Right.
If you're irrigating, then your water and sewer your sewer usage was only based on your domestic use, not your irrigation, but there was a higher fee for irrigation.
Higher fee than
Higher fee.
Oh, yeah, all right, yeah.
For water. I mean, it was less than the combined fees for water and sewer,
Yeah.
but it was higher than just the water.
Yeah, I didn't remember it was higher, yeah.
And they probably do monitor when they have their water bans, because they do.
Yep.
I did have a question about the farm, or farms. It's harder for them to follow the water ban or irrigation, they're kind of a different category.
So in most water bans, agricultural
Yeah.
use of water is exempt from the
Yeah.
water ban.
Okay,
yeah, they're just worried about lawns, right?
okay.
Yeah, the only concern for Sherborn, if irrigation is unlimited, you can pay for it, but it's unlimited, is that we do have a certain capacity that we can't go over. And, somehow we have to keep track of that.
Right.
And if more people hook up and we lose that excess capacity, then,
That's one reason to have conservation tiered water rates.
Yeah.
More they use, more they pay.
mm,
It helps keep that in check.
Yeah.
mm,
Some people end up just
and
paying
at a
it,
certain
but
point, if it comes up, say, between a new MBTA communities development
Hmm,
and being able to irrigate, the irrigation goes away.
Yeah, that is something we all have been talking about, units, water flow, gallons per day, but we never brought up
Right.
irrigation.
So what now? So I'm happy to take this and make red line strikeout things as we,
yeah, I think you should try to keep one master copy, right?
Right.
okay,
And if I have notes, I'll send them to you.
yeah, okay,
One person edit at a time.
yeah, okay. I can start and then everyone can, whatever.
I'll reach out to Toll Brothers to get a draft of the sewer regs, which we don't have yet. So,
Mhm.
Yep. And Stephen left, but we can talk about when to meet again, but I think it should be fairly soon.
Then you have another date, the 4th and the 21st?
I did, Meredith couldn't make it, but the other date was the 18th, right? When,
Of October?
No.
Sorry, I had another September date, that's what you're
Yes.
thinking. But that's, maybe we wait till they do the water,
Yeah,
finish the water testing, and then we meet. So maybe it is like an early October date?
that could change everything.
Early in October, just so you don't wait too long, but
Yep.
first week in October.
But we had, the other date in September was what, the 18th, you say?
The other date was the 18th, because it was a Thursday, that was a non-selectman
Right.
Thursday.
Okay, but now, would Toll Brothers be,
Probably won't have stuff by the
okay,
18th.
so yeah, go to October.
October the 2nd would work very well for me.
Awesome.
Mhm. For
Me,
me too.
Okay, let's.
Good.
All right, I'll send an email. Does that work for you? Same place, same channel. All right, what do I need to do here?
Close the meeting.
Reschedule, close the meeting.
I feel like you didn't make much progress, but I think you did, actually.
I think we chatted about.
Based on her notes here, we made a lot of progress. I
There's
hope
a-
you can
if she got
understand
them all
this.
right,
Yeah.
right?
No, she can
If I
read.
can read my handwriting, then we will have made progress.
Do you want me to make a motion to adjourn the meeting, or do
Please,
you?
thank you.
Nice.
I'm making a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I second.
Okay. Meeting adjourned.
No,
At-
you have to.
We
No,
have to-
oh, sorry, we need a roll call? Do we
Right,
need
yeah, yeah.
a roll call, Frank?
Yes,
I'm a yes.
Aye.
Marion?
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm going to continue to log in. It's actually kind of helpful to have one of us on Zoom to
To load
manage-
up things?
Yeah, and sometimes I'll get comments that are private saying, please put this up and things like that, or showing how loud or not loud it is and things like that. So, and it's easier for me. So,
That's even better.
That's the important.
That's good. Okay,
Thank you, Mary.
thanks.
Sean, I see Sean's on there. Did we do all right, Sean?
You might be double booked on the conservation.
Yeah.
Okay,
I will try to do the minutes for this one in the last meeting as soon as I can. It might be a little slow in coming. I still have Frank Hess is on. I still have the regular water commission minutes to do for coming up soon. So I will do that this weekend, but
You've been doing awesome minutes.
Yeah.
You probably could shorthand it a little.
yeah,
Yes.
well, I'm definitely gonna chat GPT AI the minutes again. It does help, but it still takes a little time. So
People can play this video, so I would shorten them just to keep
Okay.
it simpler.
okay,
I mean, if
I'm
that makes it.
trying to follow Tom's pattern. Not as long. Tom is very detailed.
Top
but-
trainer?
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
he's
no.
very. But just trying to follow more or less what they do. But and some of the meetings are more important than others, right? Because of what goes on
The topics.
and who's talking and yeah.
Okay, meeting adjourned,
Very good.
8:44.
very good.